Good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is production fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. Listen, whenever we have these stories that are terrible, like the death of, I believe her name was Renee Nicole Good, 37 years old. She accelerated towards a federal agent who opened fire. Yes, and we find out that Renee was a mother of three and was a poet and had won an award. And we find out all about her life and what a good person she was and all that stuff. But the problem is this. The problem is that she was at this protest. She knew it was a protest. And how do we know she knew it was a protest? Because her domestic partner encouraged her to go. Renee was a professional left-wing activist who trained and led convoys to disrupt lawful immigration enforcement operations. She was not just an innocent bystander who was just bewildered, as some people in the press would have you believe, that she was just bewildered and these armed people just showed up. She didn't know what to do. No, that is not the case. Unfortunately, she knew exactly what she was doing. And it's interesting that the left would bring up that she was a mom and and the woman knew that she was a mother. And she knew that if something happened to her, and it could, that she would be leaving her children without a mom. She knew that. So what she didn't do was protect her children. That somehow she was so caught up in this leftist fog of foolishness that she didn't protect her own children. She didn't adjust her behavior such that her children would be taken care of, that she'd be able to take care of her children. So for a moment, she didn't care about her kids. I know that's a hot take and that's probably a very unpopular take. But for just a moment, she didn't care about her kids. All she cared about was what she was caring about at the time, whatever her leftist view of Donald Trump was. Her TDS got the best of her, and it got her killed. Because if you drive a car towards a police officer, especially after they tell you to stop, they're going to shoot into the vehicle. They're going to eliminate the threat. And at that point, you're the threat. And you're going to get eliminated. Now, an interesting tact has shown up in all of this. The wife or the domestic partner of this woman was filmed blaming herself because she encouraged Renee to go to this protest. Rebecca, Renee is a dead woman. Rebecca is her lesbian lover. I don't know how else to say it, because that's what it is, because they're not married, Rebecca insisted that they go. So they went. And now Rebecca is blaming herself. So the widow, here's a story from the New York Post. The widow of Renee Nicole Good was filmed sobbing, "It's my fault," after her partner was killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. She is a handy woman who recently moved the family to the city, the Post can reveal. Rebecca, 40, was outside the car when Renee drove toward the ICE officer, who opened fire Wednesday, shooting the mom of three in the head and killing her. Yes. Well, if you're sitting up in a car, the chances of you getting shot in the arm or or the knee are pretty low. The thing that's visible is your head, and that's where you get shot in. Rebecca and her partner previously lived in Kansas City, Missouri, where they lived in the Waldo neighborhood for about 2 years. They decided to leave the country. Now, these are the people. These are the people who have. This is where TDS is off the scale. They decided to leave the country after the election of Donald Trump in 2024. They moved to Canada for a couple of months because that's what people do. They move to Canada and they learn that Canada is very freaking expensive and they can't live there. So they moved back to the best possible option, Minnesota, similar weather, but living in the comfort of the United States. Okay. A former neighbor said this. Uh, it's a neighbor who is not a terrorist, not an extremist. She's just a mom who loved her kids, loved her spouse. Another neighbor, Joan Rose, told the outlet. Rebecca was seen distraught. Rebecca is the lesbian lover, and apparently crying that she had been the one who asked Renee to go out and protest the ICE operations. I made her come here. Down here, it's my fault. Well, yeah, it is. Her face covered in blood and having to attempt to help Renee. They just shot my wife. They just shot your lesbian lover. They shot her in the head. Yeah, because this isn't some Western movie where they wing the person in the arm and they stop. Renee could have just stopped. She could have just put the car in park. She could have just turned it off. She could have just been arrested. But her TDS wouldn't let her. The couple allegedly a part of a group that had been stalking and impeding ICE officers throughout the entire day. Now, Renee's mom said this didn't sound like her. Well, it probably didn't sound like her, but when she got with her friend, and they got all ginned up on TDS, kind of hard, not to believe it, right? Renee's mom said Renee was one of the kindest people I've ever known. She probably was, or could be, except when she was all ginned up on her TDS. Now, again, she's on video accelerating towards federal agents. It's just amazing. The left's, well, maybe it's not really the left's initial reaction. They always tend to empathize or curry compassion for the perpetrator. She took off and accelerated towards a federal agent, cop. She was going to get shot. This is how you get dead if you are trying to get dead. And all of these other people can say whatever they want. That's the part of this program today that you have to get. If you take your car, which is a 2,000-pound vehicle, and aim it at 20, 30, 40 miles an hour towards a cop, you're going to get dead. And the backstory about with this woman makes this even sadder. That her TDS and other people's TDS will result in the same thing happening to them, unfortunately. Sadly. What are your comments? My name is Willie Lawson. Welcome to the Morning Report. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourselves. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.